Here again, and this time I'm going to get the Taipan out ready for one of our reptile shows. Here we go. I'll flip across to the cage, pretty standard snake cage. This is a slightly different box to what we've had on the previous videos just made, but here we have the hide. Oh, it's coastal Taipan here. Now this guy actually recently recovered from a very serious infection at the rear of the head. We had to operate on it, remove a tumour or a cyst of some sort, and it was removed, and it did actually recur. We had a bit of argy-bargy with it, but we basically fixed it in the end, as in removed the whole thing. It was very problematic. The snake here was hatched by myself. I incubated the egg. I obtained a gravid female and hatched some eggs, and this is one of them. And this is a snake that was hatched in the egg was laid in late 2004. The egg hatched in, my recall was early 2005, very standard incubation. You see the snake's actually got a hair lip there, you see that? It's got a bit of a hair lip. And coastal Taipans do have an absolutely shocking reputation. They are rated by a lot of authorities as the world's deadliest. They're always somewhere in the top 5. I am not a toxinologist, and a lot of these people who are toxinologists disagree, and there's a few that are somewhat not quite ethical, but we'll skip them. Anyway, neither way, you don't want to get bitten by one in a normal situation. We're not too concerned with this particular animal. It's been surgically devenomised for many years, and of course it's never actually bitten anyone, but we've forced it to bite myself on video, on camera, in front of independent audiences, just to prove that it is in fact devenomised and safe. The side of the head you're looking at now is the side that had the infection. The whole front of the mouth was hanging out. It was just unbelievably bad. We had to fight the infection for several months, and of course it's the sort of thing, it was a daily thing. And that's the hide, and you can see the water bowl, and it's a large non-spillable thing, but this water bowl here does weigh a few kilos, and we had a recent raid from Glenn Sharp and Emily Gibson of the Department of Sustainability. They are animal haters. They certainly don't like animals, because when they came here they shook the cages to get the animals to move around out of these hides so they could work out what was in the cage, because they were too scared to open the cages. And these water bowls, which are very heavy, they're a good few kilos. In fact, I should weigh one. They do vary in weight a little bit, but they're all, a good few kilos because they're cement and not spillable. Rolled onto the snakes, and we had 2 tiger snakes with broken backs that died. We have a 3rd tiger snake which is seriously injured, and it's still alive, and this is a good couple of months after, about 2 months after the raid. But I mean, it is questionable as to whether or not the snake should be kept alive or whether it should be euthanized. We had that question with the others. In hindsight, they should have been euthanized. They did die painful deaths. But of course, when you've raised snakes from birth for many years, it really is a very hard decision to take. Now, you flip across here and you can see a snake poo. This is very important in the way we do things at Snake Busters here. We watch our poos very, very carefully to make sure they are 100% spot on. Our snakes generally eat rodents, nothing much else. And having said that, the poo should reflect what they're eating. If there's anything wrong in the colour or any other attribute of the poo, we will of course deal with it straight away. We have fecal examinations in-house. We've got microscopes, all the gear. If we get in doubt, we can get outside expertise. And this poo, as you can see, is brown. It's got the white stuff at the back, or yellowy white. That's a standard poo. That's urates and flesh and hair and so on. Now, as you can see, I can put my hand in, wave it over the Taipan's head. It is not interested in biting. See, it's not interested in biting me at all. And I mention that because despite the terrible reputation of these guys, they are a very, very civilized snake. And I can tell you now, my kids, I had passed on to my kids to hold this particular animal because it is devenomised and safe, and I can tell you none of them have ever been bitten as well. Having said that, neither of my kids have ever been bitten by any snake, unless I have forced them to be bitten by a devenomised snake to prove that our snakes are no risk to children. Now, as you can see, this is a pretty normal snake, and after being devenomised for many years, he is alive and well. He is a male. Now, I mention that because there's a lot of wrong information on the internet and elsewhere made by business rivals such as Zoos Victoria, who can't match our standards, who do not have the expertise to have devenomised snakes, and they will make false claims about them regenerating venom. The main thing is, when you're dealing with snakes, Be gentle, of course. Doesn't matter whether it's the most dangerous snake on earth or a python. If you're nice to the reptiles, they will generally be nice to you. When we do our venomous reptile shows, we don't use sticks and tongs because we think it sends the wrong message to children and adults for that matter. And the message sticks and tongs send to snakes is, of course, that snakes sends to people is that snakes are horrible animals that can be mistreated with metal sticks and subjected to pain and torment. We believe that tongs are a no-no. And in terms of hooks and things, yes, they are a snake handling tool, but should only be used when needed, and certainly not for the purposes of public entertainment. Just remember, snake busters are Australia's best reptiles. We like our reptiles and we treat them with care and respect. If it's not us, it could be a risk as well. And as I say, look at this taipan. It is a magnificent snake, and while my favourite snakes are not taipans, I prefer death adders, this snake does have beauty of his own. Thank you.